Nigeria, 36 states, population 148 million people, the 8th most populous country in the world, 250 ethnic groups, over 520 living languages spoken, including Pidgin English, numerous religious practices. The one thing that connects all Nigerians is music.
Let's go! 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 Ready!
Music is next to God and His people.
Popularly called the heart of African music, Nigeria has its roots in music from as far back as the 14th century. Music has always had deep roots in Nigeria because its numerous ethnic groups each carry their own style of traditional folk music. Nigeria has propagated many musical styles, stemming either from a fusion of two distinct traditional styles, or adopting diverse musical styles from other cultures and fusing them with its own. Examples of such are the palm wine music, waka music, Fuji, Apala, Yo-pop, high life, juju, reggae, hip-hop and Afrobeats, made popular by the late musical legend Fela Kuti. With Nigeria having a prominence on the world stage and good album sales from as far back as the 1960s till date, one would think the industry will be fully developed by now. Unfortunately, that's not the case.
I think what happened is that it went into a slump sometime in the 80s. Mid 80s, early 90s, there was a slump. I don't really know what was responsible for that, but some people argue that it was, the people who were running the industry at the time. And if you look at it, it was just like they had record companies then. Yeah. And there were like 3 or 4 of them, not more than that. And it was a monopoly.
It's just basically a change of trends. It usually happens. There's that tipping point at which people stop accepting what they are used to hearing, and it has to take another dimension. It happens every time in music. It's evolution. It's the evolution of music to get it to where it is right now.
I think that the music industry at every turn of a decade takes a different form altogether. Music from the 60s to the 70s, there was a change. Music from 70s to 80s, it was quite different. Music in the 90s was just I'll call it a potpourri of change. It wasn't just one stream, it was just a whole lot. But right now, 2000 beyond, it's more, we're having people that are losing sight of identity, cultural identity. And if a nation loses its cultural identity via the medium of music, it might as well just be losing its whole roots, because you're losing the youth.
Okay, music in the 80s was real music.
Yeah.
Then people didn't do music just for commercial sake alone. They did the art of music because they loved what they do, and they also did it because they wanted to pass a message across to everybody who's listening to them. But right now, the change is really drastic, really bad. Everybody's doing music because they want to sell.
Nigeria's musical gifts have been passed down from generation to generation in so many forms and ways. So at some point, it raises the question as to what makes Nigerian music distinct.
For the fact that music started here, and so that natural feel we put into our music, I think, is making it distinct, making it different from, and the entertainment, the fun we put into the music, is making it distinct from other music.
I would say the lingo. Yeah, the lingo used in a lot of the songs. Even though sometimes, people tend to overuse certain terms, maybe because one guy said it and he made a hit, everyone wants to do that.
Well, what makes Nigerian music distinct? It's the culture in the music, the feel, the flavor we put into it, the language we put into it. And what more you get is swag. That's what I'm putting it. It's what actually I feel makes Nigerian music distinct.
We do wonderful videos today, and we have a very unique sound right now. Nigerian music, we have wonderful sound. There's no way you hear Nigerian music and you won't recognize this is Nigerian music.
If you make a song, let's say a rap song, and it's very good lyrics, but it's all in English, you might want to have a pidgin English chorus, so that's if you want to sell this music. So that the guy who is not that educated, that's enlightened, will get caught, will get arrested by that instrumental, and so pay attention to your music. So if you're marketing it, you have to take such things into consideration. That's what I think.
Nigerian, in its inherent form, is I think the incursion of the use of local content, as the pidgin, the Yoruba, probably later Hausa and Igbo as well.
We are not afraid to express ourselves, and that's one way we can sing about nonsense and buy our nonsense, and we're proud of what we do.
If you are a Nigerian, what you ought to do is to sing according to the kind of should I say language or way of passing a message that the Nigerians do. If you are a Western man, you have to sing like them. You are a Nigerian, you have to sing like a Nigerian.
The advent of new age technology brought with it a boost to the Nigerian music industry it hadn't seen in years. For the most part, recording, production, promotion, and even marketing of these musical works just got so much easier.
The music from the 70s and now has highly been influenced by technology. There's an improvement in technology, and especially in this computer age, music has been delivered, or access to do music is at your doorstep. You can just come out and just have it. So a lot of people can now discover their talents and then have involvement in music.
Well, back in the day, a lot of stuff was done analog, as in hardcore analog patching of wires. The recording sessions were live. You really had to know how to sing because there was no auto-tune to save you. Nope. You really had to know how to sing. The mixing, the mastering, the recording session, everything was done analog. There were no softwares, no Sonar, no Wheezing, no Fruity Loops whatsoever. It was strictly analog synthesizing, and you had to have a prior knowledge of how to handle these machines before you actually got into a studio.
It's much easier to make music now, unlike then. When you have to bring in a 20-man band to record a song, it was much more tiresome, hectic and everything. Unlike now, you could just go to the studio. Some people make beats at home even with their laptops, with the Fruity Loop software, make their beats, come to the studio voice. It's so simple. So music is much more simpler now.
You want to record now, you don't need to carry a full band, you have all the equipment, whatever, just press buttons and you get all the effects you need. You don't really need to have a full band to do stuff anymore. And marketing the same thing. You want to download, you go to any of the sites, music sites, pay whatever you have to pay and download anybody's music. Yeah, it's done a lot of good.
Modern technology has helped Nigerian music grow in terms of the form of softwares we use now, very good softwares that could give very good output sounds to be compared with foreign music.
New age technology has helped industry, has helped Nigerian music a lot. It has helped music worldwide, plus Nigeria. Because these days you can sell yourself on Facebook, you can sell yourself on Twitter, you can sell yourself on MySpace, you can sell yourself on iTunes, and a whole lot more on the internet.
Anyone with a computer and a Fruity Loops program is now producing music. It's got its good sides and it has its bad sides. For starters, it's a lot easier for more people to get the opportunity to actually make music, which is good. But then on the other hand, we have a lot of people who are not ready. And since it's a lot easier, they don't pay dues as much as they used to. I think paying dues actually has its rewards. If you don't pay dues, your rewards are also going to be limited.
Thanks to technology, the influx of new artists into the industry came with the overwhelming challenge for these new musical aspirants to be heard and acknowledged. In light of this, radio stations, both private and otherwise, were given a prerequisite for broadcasting by the NBC. The said prerequisite was to have a certain amount of local content in the air at all times to promote new upcoming artists, thereby making Nigerian music readily available to the general public. A few of the pioneers of this initiative were radio stations like Ray Power, Silverbirds, Rhythm 93.7, Cool FM, Wazobia FM, and many more.
That's just something really taking over the airwaves right now here in Nigeria. When to know already, what you hear most times is Nigerian songs. I can boldly tell you that 95% of songs being played on radio are Nigerian songs, even 98%, even 2% to other Western songs and all that sort of songs.
In the past, it was a lot more difficult for a young dude who is not a Sonny Ade, not a Onyeka, not Ras Kimono, or so on, to get their music on radio. But with the private radio stations, that started to happen.
Radio stations are really trying, I would say. They're really putting their best into selling our stuff. Because if they don't do it, who will? That's the thing. They have the responsibility to make sure Nigerians listen to good music.
They saw the will of a new generation. They saw the will of the youth, the passion that they follow through with the music. Because, quite frankly, it's very hard to get to even be acknowledged. So there's the fight for acknowledgement, which the radio stations have helped to do, but they can do more. Right now, radio stations are not remunerating funds to copyright owners. That is, it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Well, I think they really helped by airplay, because without their airplay, you won't really know how your song would do in the market. Really, as in, you just go out into the market and just release your albums, but I think with the airplay, you actually get to know how your song would do. As in, they get to play your song. People make calls and say, and they can actually say, all right, that they want to dedicate this song to someone, and you actually know where your song falls.
In the other way, you have to give something before your song will be played. They are really trying, but you have to spend money to get to them. If you are lucky, they will play a song for you, and always playing it. With that, people get used to you, and you make wave.
Following the successful initiative propagated by the radio houses and the growing popularity of music videos in the country, a few television stations opened up with the sole intent of airing Nigerian music videos as a means to promote local content. A few of such channels have been Sound City, Nigezie, and MTV Base. This has without a doubt taken Nigerian music video standards to much greater heights.
You're excited about what you hear, but you're more into the person and into the music by what you see. Sight is always sight and sound, and if you have crappy videos and you have a great song, it does it no credit. Actually, it kills the song. That's why international recording labels the world over pay a lot of attention to detail when they're shooting videos.
Well, let's look at videos now. In the past 10 years, 10 years back, we never had so much of very good, flashy, fly video. But right now we have videos that are crazy.
Music videos in Nigeria have somewhat stepped up and come to overtake even the home videos that are supposed to be the movies of Nigeria. They've advanced further than the home videos, which started out before music videos. You hear folks shooting their videos with 35mm celluloid cameras and stuff like that, using all the cranes and special effects and lightning.
Nigerian music videos are the shiznit right now. You know what I mean? Nigerian music video, I know for enough every year they keep growing. You can tell they grow from 1 point to 1 point to 1, and it keeps getting higher. Nobody's shooting rubbish views anymore. Yes, 1 or 2 are still in black sheeps in the family, but man, on a general scale, on a general note, I think it's good.
Kudos to the music directors. The directors, they've been doing a wonderful job. They've been doing a great job. I give it up to them, man, because without them, it can't happen. The directors are the ones that make it happen, and those guys have really, most of them, they've really invested a lot in themselves, going to film schools, trying to get knowledge here and there. And I mean, look at what we have today, man. They're doing a wonderful job.
With Nigeria having a rather insatiable appetite for its music, artists have found a safe haven where they can make music in their own language and still be wholly accepted by the greater part of the population. This kind of acceptance should irrevocably mean huge commercial success and a very wide distribution of the artist's work. However, the one obstacle to this is piracy.
Piracy, I think it has really reduced, really. It's still biting, but I think it has reduced to what we have like 10 years ago. I grew up in Lagos, so probably this part of the country might not actually be experiencing piracy in its full punches. But then in Lagos, you see people on the street dubbing your music and selling right in front of you. But right now, you can't find them anymore. I think it has to do with the fact that the music is CD from the manufacturer, or let's say from the marketer, is being sold out at a very reduced price. So even the pirate guy going to go duplicate the CD is like wasting money. Why you can get it at a cheap price and still sell it and still make huge profit.
When we talk about piracy, a lot of people don't understand that piracy is actually on 2 levels. There is what you call the passive and the active piracy. Passive piracy is the acts of pirating people's music or people's intellectual property in part or in whole without due acknowledgement. And that happens even with the television stations you have, the radio stations. There's no structure, and that is the only loophole they have for escape, because they know that there is no structure for copyright administration.
Piracy has always been a rather knowing problem of the music industry in Nigeria. Steps have been taken to tackle this problem, but the inevitable fact is that the Nigerian marketing structure is also the Nigerian pirate market. This structure is none other than the Alaba International Market, Lagos.
You see the CD here? Pirated copy. Now, in most places, this would be done for promotional use only. They wouldn't sell this. If you were to get a record deal elsewhere, your product wouldn't be like this. It would be actually, the proper CD that we know. The plastic cover, not just the cardboard. Like this, for instance. It would look like this. Okay? Now, the reason why CDs are made like this in Nigeria is because the industry, the standards of the industry have been dictated by the pirates. It's a very serious problem.
Piracy in Nigeria, it has its good side and its bad side. Because right now in Nigeria, artists get popular because of pirates. Upcoming artists, famous upcoming artists, more than the established artists. For instance, let's put it like this. An upcoming artist who is not known anywhere in the world, who is not known anywhere in Nigeria, we take his CD, his recorded work, we take it to the pirate, tell them, look, pirate this thing, publicize this thing as much as you can, so that people will get to know me, because they have their networks and their links, you understand? And they do this thing, and the artists are everywhere. Now, when you're established, when you're supposed to eat off your labor and your hard work, that is when those pirates begin to rip you off. You see how it works? It's good initially, then later it turns to gravel the mouth of the eater, man. So it's two-sided. But however, whatever it is, piracy is bad. It's wrong, man. It's frustrating, man.
Music in Nigeria is like the first thing everybody think of. In other things come in place.
Nigerian music and it's people. They are very, very interrelated, very, very close. They are like having a very passionate affair because they listen to every single word that comes out of the mouth of the artist and they take it as it is. It's the same everywhere, basically.
Nigerian music talks about what is happening here in Nigeria. You don't expect a white man to come and tell you what is happening in your house. No, you yourself have to tell the story of what is happening.
Almost 95% of what you hear these days in people's cars, on their phones, on their iPods and MP3s, in clubs, name it. It's all Nigerian music. Just what I'm saying. And people have accepted it so nicely that it's good.
The ever-dynamic nature of the Nigerian music industry leaves it with somewhat of an uncertain future. On the subject, there are both pessimists and optimists.
I think it's going to get bigger. It's going to get bigger. There's no going back from this point. It's broken loose, and it's going to continue to grow. In the past 10 years, we've seen a significant change. We've seen a whole lot of changes. Even though it's not perfect, but it's going to go only in one direction, and that's up, certainly not down.
The next 10 years, if we don't have structure, we will die. We will crumble. We will totally be obliterated. We will be seen as a nuisance on the world stage. No one will pay attention to our music anymore. Right now, they're still paying attention because we've got volume. Right now, we still have people that are representing. But for how long?
The music industry is very unpredictable. You can't say this is what's going to happen in the next 10 years, what's going to happen in the next 5 years or so. It keeps changing, and it keeps getting better.
Regardless of what the future may bring, Nigerian music promises to entertain, inspire, move, and electrify its people for many, many years to come. Showing amazing resilience in the wake of its many difficulties, it has proven itself time and time again to be a force to be reckoned with and a very important medium of communication.
Music is a tool for change. It's a tool to teach, to preach, to encourage, to speak about social ills. It's a mouthpiece. When you call yourself a musician, you're a star. Being a star means you have to look up to a star.
Just as it has done for over 400 years, Nigerian music will continue to serve as a strong, unbreakable unifying force that has affected and forever changed the status quo of a very special, very unique, and very talented Nigeria, and its effects will without a doubt resonate to future generations.
Only for pleasure, but I see music to pass message to people. Understand? I really love music. I appreciate music.
Yeah, you see, I've heard so many things. Music is life, music is food for the soul, and all that. So now, just imagine all that music speaking to you in the language that you understand perfectly, your own traditional language, your mother tongue and all that. The effects are massive.
Life has its basic ways of handling things. In life, there's always a word to say. So I'd like to introduce Nigerian's finest, hip-hop's new generation. Music. That's music to your ears.